Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and today I am checking back in with Dauntless, which has just been released into open beta as a free-to-play game, so you can actually just jump in here now without having to buy a slightly overpriced Founders Pack. So I have been grinding my way through the earlier tiers, through the content that I have already seen, and I am right now just at the point before I can hunt a monster that I've never seen, which is in the start of a new tier. So a decent amount has changed, but a lot of it is the same. For example, Ramsgate here has not changed drastically. It is mostly just the hub where you accept quests and craft new items, and that's about it. They've changed the NPCs, so they actually look a bit more unique now. She used to have that, like, metallic gold hair, but it still kind of appears sometimes when you're at a distance. I'm not really sure. It's like she's overlaid over her old self. But they've all got new makeovers, so they don't just look like characters you can create yourself anymore. There are also a lot of NPCs hanging around that I was about to say don't serve a purpose, but I've never seen this guy. Okay, this is just a guy that lets you change your face.
You're always
I actually
welcome here.
hadn't seen that. I guess that's new. But I assume eventually these stands will open up and there'll be more stuff to buy. But for the most part, you know, the bosun here still makes your potions.
Name the destination.
One big thing that changed since the last time I looked at this is you don't craft healing potions anymore, and there are not different tiers of healing potions. Instead, you just have like a Dark Souls-style healing flask with 5 uses every mission. And I believe it just heals a percentage of your health because it never seems to be a smaller amount. So it's not like you can upgrade it or anything. I don't really know what's back here. I guess not much. This guy hasn't given me a quest yet.
What's the word, Slayer?
But you do get quests, and there is an actual progression now. There's even a fancy opening cutscene that is in-engine, so it shows your character instead of just generic Slayer. But yeah, there's not too much that's changed here. Most of the changes are smaller, more incremental, but like, for example, now there are 3 kind of experience trees that you can level up and do daily missions and weekly missions for. And these will unlock Slayer cores, which will give you stuff that you can slot into your weapons and armor. However, to use the axe and the war pike, you now have to actually level up Weapon Master to level 4, and that's usually stuff like weapon-specific tasks, you know, breaking parts with a certain type of weapon, or causing interrupts, or just hunting behemoths with a certain weapon. So it's a little shitty that they would lock 2 of the weapons because there aren't that many weapons. That only leaves you with 3, the sword, the hammer, and the twin blades to start with. But I guess it's because those are the 2 slightly harder to use weapons. The behemoth stuff has also changed a little bit. For example, now the warpike actually has behemoth-specific warpikes, whereas the last time I looked at this, there was only 2 kinds. There was the regular and the upgraded. So, they all do have the different behemoth effects now.
Back to my work.
What else has changed around this area? Not too much, really. The actual hunt menu has changed, though. So you actually have the kind of map here that gets farther and farther away from Ramsgate on the left. So, you know, the Sheltered Frontier is where you start. Monstrous Verge is like Tier 2, and there's a fair number of okay monsters there, and then you get into Yonder Keys, which has the previous monsters and new ones. And now I'm at the Uncharted Reaches, where stuff starts to get hard, it sounds like. But we're going to go into the Yonder Keys, and I think we're going to hunt 2 behemoths that I didn't show in any other videos, because I think they're pretty neat. So we're going to start off with the Ember Main. I have to grind these guys for Weapon Arcanite anyway, so that I can prepare for the next monster. This screen also hasn't really changed much. You know, if everybody readies up, then it will go into a 10-second countdown. Otherwise, you have to wait like 5 minutes, which can be really annoying if someone joins AFK. We're going to use the Scrave Axe. And we're going to switch to the Charog gear, which has fire resistance, which obviously the Ember Main has. This stuff is a little janky, like for example, we're all readied up, but the server hasn't realized it yet. I wonder if that guy left because he thought I was Spanish. Alright. Everybody left. That's the first time I've had people drop out completely from a hunt. It's been pretty good about finding people now that it's in open beta and there's actually a lot of people. Before, it used to be a challenge to find anything but, like, endgame or starting stuff. You'd have to, like, ask for people in Ramsgate to join you. In fact, it was so busy that it was basically unplayable on the first 3 days because the login queue was about 100,000 people with a wait time of an hour plus. For some people, it was like 6 hours to get in, and then you would have a glitch at the end of a hunt where you would basically have to Alt F4 the game, and then you'd have to wait in the queue again. So that really sucked. But it's leveled out now. There was no queue at all to get in anymore. We are going after Ember Main. So yeah, they seem to have worked out their server issues for the most part, and also the bug where you'd get stuck in a hunt seems to have stopped. Maybe we won't actually find anyone. Oh, no, there we go. I'm still not sure what that armor on the left is. I haven't seen the Behemoth that lets you craft that. It might be the Rezakiri, but I won't know until I actually do that mission, and I think I'm going to record that as a separate video, you know, first time against so-and-so Behemoth, because I think that's kind of fun to do for the various Behemoths, especially the harder ones. I noticed they still haven't fixed the thing where because I have a female character with this armor, there's just a hole in your chest. Come on, pork horse. It also takes like 10 seconds to ready up, which I think is not intentional. Like, you'll click it and it'll just kind of sit there and be like, preparing to ready up. But this is the axe, which I haven't used too much, but I've been trying to use it more because it's pretty powerful. It is the power weapon of this game instead of the hammer. The hammer is a generally faster, easier to use weapon, even though it is a little bit more complicated than the sword or the chain blades. So the islands themselves have changed a little bit. There are now launch platforms, which just make it easier to get around instead of having to take the long way around every cliff. And they kind of look better. They've got kind of an art pass over them. Not only that, but they're now distinct islands. Like, you can specifically pick to go to these islands with the various behemoths that you can fight there. But I picked a specific hunt, so I am going to get less guaranteed rewards, but get to pick the actual creature I'm fighting, which has also been changed from the pre-release, because in pre-release you had to collect tokens, essentially, by doing patrol hunts where you didn't get to pick your monster, and you could spend like 5 of them to do a specific hunt, which was a real pain in the ass when you wanted to grind out, you know, specific upgrade parts. So yeah, these events are new, and they just let you kind of move around a bit more. You can also climb ledges, which you couldn't do before. They've also changed the way the crafting materials works. There are less of them now, and you don't need nearly as many to craft anything. And again, since you don't have to craft healing potions, you don't really have to pick this stuff up. It's mostly just for potions that give you buffs. Alright, so we're just looking for which one of the Aether vents this guy is spawned at. I think it's random, but I'm pretty sure I usually see him back here. Yep, there he is. So you fire off a flare and let everyone know you found the Behemoth. Oh, I was looking at the flare and not at the thing trying to kill me. So the Ember Main is pretty quick, though you'd think he has less health because of that, but he really doesn't. So the axe is all about charge attacks. It does a lot of damage, but you have to stand there and charge. Your left click has a stationary charge, and your right click has a charge that you can move while charging, but of course it doesn't do as much damage, and it drains stamina constantly while you're charging it, even when it's fully charged. So you can see there's not too much to it. We hit him with this until our special meter charges up, and when you hit him with the special, it does a bunch of damage, and it increases the damage your weapon does, and that can stack, which I believe is how the longsword in Monster Hunter works. But of course, not nearly as many things you can do as the longsword. I'm pretty sure any one weapon in Monster Hunter World has more moves than all of the weapons in this game combined. One problem I have with the axe is judging distance. I always think that I'm swinging farther than I actually am. So, this guy's pretty basic right now, but you'll see in a minute why he's called Ember Main. I still like his general design, though. They've also changed the damage numbers. You can see at the bottom there, there's part damage, basic damage, stagger damage, and wound damage. So when you stop doing part damage, that means you're not hitting a part that you can break. Okay, there's the Ember Main. So now he'll start shooting fireballs. And generally, if you're not doing part damage, you want to switch targets. Okay, he's gonna come for me again. A little too early, but it feels really good when you do that correctly. Charge up your hammer and slam it down on his head, which will stagger him out of his attack. There's not really a specific part you need to break on him. Like certain monsters, you really want to focus on a certain part because it's dangerous. Like the other monster we're gonna fight. Okay, I think he's coming for me again. Nope, he's got fireballs. You can tell when he's gonna charge because he ducks down like that. Ah, it's still too early. The problem is the timing on that is obviously different depending on how far away he is. He doesn't always run the same distance. He's not coming for me, but I might be able to hit him when he passes by. So there's really not a lot of complexity to the axe. It's just about timing your hits properly. That's where the difficulty comes in. Oh, that didn't knock him down. He can be pretty hard to hit with the axe, though, just because he moves so much. You kind of have to hope that your teammates will get a stun like that. Alright, so there's one break.
Listen up. This is important.
He will say that every mission when the first 5 minutes have passed. Alright, so I got a stagger there. I originally thought that his fiery main was attached to his rage state, but no, he'll do it even before he rages. So one of the potions I'm carrying now will actually increase damage to behemoths when they're enraged. Alright, so my axe meter under my health there is charged all the way up. So if I connect with the special attack, it will increase my damage, but if you miss, you lose half your meter and have to wait till it charges again. So I kind of want to wait until he's stunned. Alright, well I got him. I think I cut his tail off with that. And now I have stacked one stack of damage, and I have until that purple counts all the way down to the left to get another stack. Okay. So I'm hop back in there. So pretty much every behemoth has an escape like that. Some of them are more obvious to tell the direction than others. Like some of them will just burrow into the ground and you can't really tell which way they went. But like some of them, like the flying ones, you can just watch where they land. They no longer teleport like through cliffs like they used to. I I really hope I land one good hit like that before the end of this fight. Oh, I also have a lantern that lets me drop a fireball. And after 5 seconds, it'll explode. Not really going to do much against him, but... Lanterns also have 2 uses now. They used to only have 1 ability, but now they have a charge-up ability and a instant use ability. And the instant use for this one is just it lets you attack faster for a couple seconds. Nope. Second fireball. Usually he charges after a fireball. And when you're on fire, you gotta roll to put yourself out, otherwise you'll take a shit ton of damage. Which is not good when you're out of stamina like I am right now. I think it's time to heal again. Well, I got him that time, but still timed it a little bad, so I got hit too. Come on, you know you want to charge me again. Forgot that also uses stamina. I guess I was wrong about only the right click doing that. Wasn't going for me there. Still could have hit him though. I think as long as you hit him in the head, it will knock him out of his attack. My buff is about to run out if I don't hurry up. Come on. Okay, I think he's gunning for me. Alright, we both missed. Oh, he wasn't going for me, he was going for the guy behind me. So the Ember Main is not a super difficult fight, though he has a lot more health than you expect for how fast he is. But for the most part, you know, a full team shouldn't have too much trouble with him. Before the open beta wipe, I had a fight where it was just me and another guy, and we were both using swords against it, which is very hard to hit it with. You definitely don't want just swords. Alright, breaking all the parts. Gonna let my stamina recharge. Yeah, he's not going for me this time. It's just a lot of fun to knock him out of that charge when he comes right at you. Alright, and I got my big attack charged again, but I'm only at 1 again because I took too long. Alright. And I didn't do great there. Took a lot of hits. I was kind of busy talking. I give it a 4. Apparently I didn't take a lot of hits. I guess I was just kind of hanging out in the back, hoping he would charge me. Alright, so I got another level there, which means I'll get another core and get some more slottable items. I'm not really sure you should use those, though, until you get to later game stuff, because you can't get them back once you use them. But at the same time, you do get duplicates, so it's not like, you know, a big deal if you lose some of them. Especially the lower end ones that you wouldn't want to put in a good weapon anyway. But I do believe you can overwrite them. So, if you did put them in a good weapon, you could just put better ones in later. So yeah, during the first few days when you got to that screen and it would kind of show you the island again, it would just sit there. and you would have to quit the game to get out of that, and would lose credit for the hunt that you just did. So it sucked, as expected. Alright, let's open my core. Silver Slayer core. They've also added rarities and such to this, which didn't seem to be too well defined before. But yeah, these are all things I can slot in. And you get a lot more of them now because you used to only get cores from your character level, which is what I just got there. Oh no, that was just my Slayer level. Never mind. But yeah, you used to only get them from that, but now you see you get them every level. And you get them for all of the stat types, not just Slayer. Like you'll get Alchemist cores and whatnot. Not only that, but certain hunts will also give you, or not certain hunts, sorry, but certain like weeklies will give you cores as well. So you get a lot more options for grinding out some equipable items to put in your weapons and armor. Alright, so now we're going to hunt the Drask, which might be a little tough because I have wiped twice on this guy. Once was because 2 people left in the middle of the mission, but the other time was just legitimately they got their asses kicked, and I foolishly did not bring something sharp. Because the Drask, you really want to take the tail off because it's very dangerous with him. Because he basically does this swing in a circle that can hit everyone on the team around him. And I'm going to switch to Drask armor because it has shock resistance. I kind of wish you could, like, do this quicker than having to switch every piece. Like, you could just switch to all pieces of a set. Alright, so for weapon, Drask is weak against fire, but I don't have a lot of good fire stuff. So I think I'm just going to go with the Ember Maul again. This is the hammer. Even though it looks like an axe, it's actually a hammer. Made from the Ember Main that we just fought. But yeah, this is the guy right before the one that I'm currently on, so he is definitely the toughest of the Yonder Keys behemoths, in my opinion. The sand here, I guess, is supposed to sparkle, you know, like sand does, but it kind of just looks like artifacting, like some kind of graphical glitch. Especially when you actually get in. Like, at the intro there, it looks shinier, but now, when you walk, it's just these tiny little dots, and it's like, man, is my graphics card melting? Alright, so I don't think I showed off the hammer in the previous videos either. It's pretty fun. It's like got this kind of explosive core thing built into it, so you can either fire off like a little shotgun blast like that, which is not the best way to use it, or you can actually just trigger it with every swing and it will do more damage. And you have 4 shots before you can reload. However, if you hit the button right after you swing, you will get 1 charge back, kind of like the Red Queen in Devil May Cry 4. Where you could supercharge it by just tapping the charge button at the right time. Should also put my weapon away because your stamina only drains when you sprint while having your weapon out. So this is a free-to-play game, but there isn't really that much in the way of kind of monetization schemes in this right now. There's a little bit of cosmetic stuff, like the dye that I bought, because that actually seems like a decent thing to buy for a game you're going to play a lot, since it's not limited use and you can use it on any armor set you want. Like I have black and gold on here. So that's something I don't mind buying. There's no loot crates or anything, but there's like weapon skins sometimes. I think there's only 1 weapon skin right now and it overwrites a sword. Also, again, I really like this guy's design, which is why I wanted to show him off before I moved on to the next tier. But he's big and slow and hits like a truck, and also can shoot lightning from his mouth. And sometimes he will snipe you with that from across the map, if he can see you. But yeah, so you got your regular hit, and then you'll see if it flashes, that means I've done a charged hit like that. Yeah, and that's why you gotta take out the tail, that big swing. So the hammer, as you might expect, is good against armor. It's also good at building up stun, especially if you smack him in the head. And as you saw there, if you fire off a shot at the end of a combo, it'll fire off all the rounds you had left. I don't know why he was just standing there watching for like a minute. You can see how much damage he already piled up on me. I gotta heal already. Yep, that hurt a lot. Okay, he's getting close to getting stunned. There we go, knock him down. So that shotgun blast does pretty good damage if you hit with 4 charges at once. The timing on combo stuff is a little weird because ideally you want to be left-clicking, then right-clicking, then hitting Q, then repeating, which is hard to do in the exact sequence sometimes. And I'm down. I think I just need to be a little more careless. Yeah, I need to be a little more careless now. I need to be a little more careful with this guy. Because I'm always like, oh, you know, I can just take a hit, whatever, and then half your health is gone. Wish these guys would focus on the tail, though. The hammer is unable to remove tails at all. You can do part damage, but you can't actually break it off. You can only basically weaken it for your team. Fireball's good against this guy because he doesn't move around too much, so it might actually hit him. One of the other things you can do with the hammer is the shotgun jump, which is... and that does more damage. Oh, there goes the tail. See, they're on it. He's not supposed to barrel roll like that. The Drask does seem to break sometimes with his animation. He likes to do weird twists. But yeah, that shotgun jump just feels good to do when you nail him right in the head with it. And you can do a charged swing like I've been doing. Not so good when you're in midair and he does that. And again, those head scars mean that his head is either broken or getting close to being broken. They will actually build up on a part as you damage them. You can see his limbs are unmarked, which means they are not close to breaking. And breaking is how you get the drops that you use for building new weapons and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna use my revive. You only get 1 revive. You having some trouble there, buddy? Early access, folks. This is one of those games that I think is just gonna use the term open beta for like 5 years, so that they don't have to actually... that any criticism could be met with, oh, it's open beta. Kind of like Warframe, except Warframe is actually really good. But it's still technically open beta to them. Nope. There's nothing really bad about falling off the map. You don't even take damage, you just reappear. You also have to do an active reload for your hammer, otherwise you get weaker shots. Oops. That was the dodge, but I did it at the wrong time. I didn't mean to dodge. Because yeah, if you double click, you'll boost in a direction to get out of the way. I almost never use that because I always forget I have it. It seems to only come out by accident when I right click too many times. Alright, so when you see that lightning bolt comes down, that means that's where he's dropped. So let's fire off a flare in that direction. Yep, there's that snipe. Mid-air. Thanks for picking me up, guys. Generally, as long as you're not in front of him, you can't get hit by that. Though it will sometimes fire sideways, even though he's not looking at you. The beam will just come sideways out of his mouth. Alright, so I'm going to use one of my speed attack potions, which increases attack damage, or speed rather, by 30%. Inflicted the fire debuff, but I don't actually remember what that one does. Yep, rolled right into his claw. I'm gonna try to get away from his mouth. He's tough. He just hits really hard. And attacks more often than you'd expect him to. So you really have to, like, get 1 or 2 hits and then roll out of the way. But you have to make sure you roll in a way that doesn't just get you hit before you actually have a chance to move. I think this one guy doesn't actually know how to heal because he just keeps putting a banner down instead. I wasn't expecting him to twist all the way around. Okay, our danger level top right is getting pretty high. If that gets to 100, you're pretty much screwed. Because you can't revive anyone anymore, and your armor is drastically reduced. I don't know why they made it so your armor is reduced. That kind of seems like they're expecting you to fail. Because if you can make him retreat by that point by doing enough damage, then you will reduce the danger by like 30%. But you basically have to not get hit at all. I believe you have a lot more iframes when you roll now. I feel like you didn't have nearly as many before. Because you can actually just straight up roll through them like I did there. Which I didn't think you could do that before the last patch before open beta started. Alright, danger is about to hit 100%. That's really shitty. So now we can't revive that guy, and nobody wants to get hit. I really hope we don't wipe on him here. Okay, he retreated. And he came down over there. I do like that if you're observant, you can tell where they come down. Some people don't seem to notice that, but again, you have to kind of know what to look for. Having headphones does help, though, because you can usually hear the sound of the lightning, even if you can't see it, because you're not looking the right way. Yeah, he pretty much always will open up with lightning if you spot him. Alright, he's hurting. Yeah, see, I rolled too early there. I was trying to get the stun. I think he's probably almost done, though. He's got a lot of limb damage. Looks like all of his legs are broken as well. Or at least close to broken. No, that one's broken. Yeah, I think he's pretty much got as much parts dropped as can be dropped by him. I'm not doing the active reload after every swing because that takes a little more concentration than I have right now while talking. Get away from him because that actually does a lot of damage. Usually the enrage only knocks you down. Alright. That was a tough one. As expected. But it's good because I need that to upgrade my Drask armor, which is what I need for the Rezakiri, since it is a lightning monster. Alright, we did the absolute worst we could without failing. We got E rank. I'm gonna give that a 3. But yeah, so not too much has drastically changed, but there's been a lot of little under-the-hood changes that make it a little more appealing. And I assume they're going to keep adding stuff as they go, since this is basically, you know, beta early access, except it doesn't cost anything. So it's better than most early access. You don't have to pay money to be a beta tester, though you did before, so it's not like they're in the clear there. But yeah, I do look forward to seeing what they add in the coming months. Because obviously Monster Hunter World is still a big thing and still something I'm very much looking forward to, but it still doesn't have any sort of PC release window, aside from, hey, it's coming eventually. Hoping at E3 that they will announce a date at least. But yeah, so that's pretty much Dauntless right now. You fight monsters with other people, and since it's free, you can probably talk your friends into playing it with you. You know, if you've got friends to talk into playing it with you. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's a little simple, it's a little basic. There's really not nearly as much complexity as Monster Hunter, but it's free, and also Monster Hunter's not available yet. So if you just want something to kind of screw around with, you know, listen to a podcast, fight some monsters, or shoot the shit with your friends and fight some monsters, then, hey, give this a try. But I've been enjoying kind of grinding my way up here. I do actually want to see some new monsters, because, you know, I'm kind of sick of fighting the same ones. I hadn't seen the Drask before the wipe before the last one. Basically, there was a wipe a month ago, so that you could test the new systems before they put it into open beta. And that was the first time I actually fought the Drask, and then the wipe happened, so I didn't get to see what was after that. But this time I'm shooting for the Rezakiri, which apparently is pretty tough. You know, people used to be like, hey, looking for people for Rezakiri, must know the fight. So, I'm expecting that'll be a fun thing to try. But that'll be another video. So until then, I've been Shadefire. This is Dauntless, and I'd like to keep up this game as it releases new updates and new content. So until next time, take care, Slayer.